Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that the Succulents and Sunshine Spring Standoff is off to a really interesting start. So today is when the voting begins for round one of the Spring Standoff. So on Monday at noon Mountain Daylight Time, the voting will close and we will see which succulents make it from round one into round two. And it was interesting when I created this bracket, I tried to pick succulents that were fairly familiar. There's a few that are a little bit more unusual on there, but it's been so fascinating to see which ones are like a clear winner and which ones are a really tight race. So my kids and I went to Home Depot today to get some hibiscus to plant in our yard. Our tortoise loves to eat it. And I thought it would be interesting to see what succulents Home Depot actually had available that were on the spring standoff. And it was interesting because I would say they probably had about half. They probably maybe had, 20-ish around out of the 32. And I was so surprised. Like a couple of them that I didn't see there were, I don't think I saw an actual pearl from Nuremberg. I did not see a Lola or a Black Prince. They didn't have coral cactus. And so it was just unusual. So if we were, basing the winners based on what Home Depot had, it would look very different. But of course they did have like the string of pearls and they also didn't have zebra plant. That was another one that surprised me that wasn't there. Although we didn't go inside, we were only looking in the garden center. So it's gonna be really fascinating to see which one wins. And also, if you didn't catch my email this morning, with the voting, we're actually going to give away a $25 gift card to Snappy Pots for each round of voting. So anyone who casts a vote between now and Monday will get one lucky person there will get a $25 gift card. And then round two voting will start on Tuesday, and we'll do a gift card for that one as well, all the way down to the final round. So I'm super excited to see how this all goes down. I'm also really proud of my yard that we just updated a little bit. It's been a giant mess. We had a ton of weeds. So my husband burned all of those. So I'm going to show that to you guys. There's some succulents, but a lot of non-succulents too. So one sec. All right, so this is walking out our back patio. I actually had these agaves over by this cactus area earlier, but the kids picked out a tiny hibiscus plant, and then we put some ice plant in Henry's tortoise planter called Tallulah, is what he named it. Jane really wanted strawberries, so we got that. And then this has actually done really well. I don't remember what it's called. It's kind of in the ice plant family, and then we put a tiny little ice plant here. But this part of the yard has done really well despite all of the summer heat and sun. So I feel like this is the first summer that things are actually going to stay looking good all summer long, and I'm super excited about that. Even my dinosaur back cactus is recovered for the most part. Obviously there's some dead spots on it, but it is just looking so much better than it has in years past. All right, so we've got this big agave that we got it in a gallon bucket like 3 years ago. It has at least quadrupled in size. There are so many little baby agaves under there. So we have a major weed problem. Like I said, my husband burned them today, but we still need to go in and pull some too. So I'm planted a couple of these ice plant. I want to see if they will hold out this summer. I planted them next to the agave. I'm hoping that will shade it a little bit. Who knows? And then we got a rose bush, which Jane picked out. It's rather pretty, I think. I don't remember what it's called. There you go. That's what it is. So Tiny loves that. There's one more of the little ice plant and then some elephant bush stragglers. And our neighbor's dog is very excited about something. More elephant bush. This one was potted. I actually just put it in the ground today. A little bit of lavender, and then our pools of food for Tiny. We have some snapdragons blooming. Oh, and in case you don't know, Tiny is our tortoise. He loves snapdragons. So that's been fun. And then his little grass patch. This hibiscus is kind of struggling, but hopefully it'll do better in the summer sun. Anyway, so that's what we've got going on. in the yard right now. It just feels so nice and cleaned up. The agave is looking good. Elephant bush over here is doing great. Oh yeah, and then we planted another hibiscus that will hopefully do well here. Tons of elephant bush. This elephant bush we got as cuttings from in front of our pool house. They have a bunch of this. It takes full summer sun and heat. This will get late afternoon sun and evening sun. You can see it's already starting. In the winter, we don't get any direct sun back here, but in the summer it gets full sun in the afternoon. So it has survived really, really, really well. And then some agaves that I'm actually probably gonna give to a friend. And this is the panda plant from years ago, probably 3 years ago now, maybe 4, that I chopped up. This is what's left of it, and it has been outside this whole time. So it's doing really well, all things considered. It's definitely not a heat and sun loving succulent. And then this has just been like my garden of death, as my friend Laura Eubanks calls it. I just put a bunch of stragglers in here that I didn't know what to do with, and a lot of them are doing pretty well. This shelf has some strugglers and some not. I love mangaves though. Our rabbits chewed this one up a bunch when they were out in the yard a couple years ago. It's taken a long time to recover. Some mother of thousands. And check this out. These aloe vera have just totally rotted, which is interesting because they are in a gritty mix. But I think what happened is I had, this has big drainage holes in the bottom, but I had it plugged when I was inside because I was growing some cuttings in it. I wanted it to stay wet longer, and I forgot to pull them out. So they did not survive well. We've got one here that'll make it. I think this one will, and possibly this one, but yeah, maybe that one. But you can see there's some that are definitely gone to mush, and some other random cuttings. This is actually string of dolphins. I've had a hard time with it inside. Just it doesn't get enough water, so I stuck it out here, and we'll see if it does okay. And I think that is everything. But anyway, overall, I am super happy with how the garden is looking and how it's just gotten all cleaned up.